What is up, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crawdad Lake. If you have been watching me for more than 4 days, you would know of my greatest connection and obsession with the Care Bears franchise. I can't really say series because there is 5 generations at this point, so yeah. I was able to access an Amazon account to finally watch the newest rendition of these greeting card classics, Care Bears Unlock the Magic. This show starts out with Funshine using his belly badge to open a gate. He got stuck in the gate, which the show calls the Silver Lining, and Grumpy, Cheer, Share, and Good Luck went into this mysterious place to save him. While in there, they decided to stay so that they can explore this new terrain and help these little creatures called the Wiffles keep their environment balanced so that Care-a-Lot can continue to function. The thing that keeps getting in their way, though, is this group called the Bad Crowd. Their leader, Bluster, wants to turn all of the Silver Lining into a place called Blusterland. With the help of his first hand, Robbie, he tries to replace seeds of caring, which help the Silver Lining grow, with a bad seed, which stops plant life. Now, I'm going to go into the plot, so if you have yet to watch the show and still want to go into it without spoilers, log off now. Additionally, this is still a review, so all of the opinions stated are my own as a 15-year Care Bear fanboy. My opinions are no way meant to be passed as facts, and with any criticisms, I am not trying to shun the creators. This is legitimately one of the best Care Bear series out of the 5 generations, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. So, of course, there are the characters. I'm going to start with the Care Bears and then work my way to the new characters. Most of the main gang is how you would expect. Cheer is cheerful, Grumpy is grumpy, Share is gullible, but then we have Funshine. I am so glad they stuck to the new personality of Funshine, and I think it is here to stay in canon. In the 1990s generation Care Bears family, Funshine, like most of the Care Bears, was a copy and paste of all the background Care Bears. Thankfully, some 2010s Hot Topic stuff fixed that. In the Care Bears Generation 3, they gave Funshine his now signature athletic personality that was kept for the Gen 4 reboot on the Hub channel. They then kept that for the new series. Luckily, I think this sports-like vibe for Funshine is not going away, and I am glad they gave him a personality. Also, the voices for the characters are the best I have seen from the series, at all. They aren't really high-pitched like some, but not obviously old people like others. Besides the characters that are supposed to seem older, like Wish, Tenderheart, and Watchful Bear, our main cast sounds like teens, which, for this story, the bears work so well thinking of them to be in the age range of high schoolers. For series like Gen 2 and Gen 1, it makes sense to think of them as adults. In Gen 3, they work better when you think of them between the ages of 9 and 14, while this works amazingly with them being teenagers. Going along with more of the characters, Watchful Heart Bear. I really hope we see more of him in the future. It seems in every generation except for Gen 3, Tenderheart is the leader of the Care Bears, and he is the guide for their caring. So Watchful, who tutored him before he became who we all know him as, is great. It gave me the same feeling I got when I found out that Graham's Bear helped Tenderheart with his badge in Gen 4. Incredible. But then we have the villains. They are standard for a Care Bear series, not particularly memorable. They are called the Bad Crowd. Now, tell me which one sticks out amongst this group. Cold Heart, No Heart, Dark Heart, Beastly, Shrieky, Bad Crowd. Now tell me which one sticks out. I think the route of making a whole gang for the Care Bears to go up against, instead of just one big baddie, is a great idea, giving us more of a chance for bigger battles, clever interactions, and giving the leader, Bluster, some weight in how he sees his crew. But we just don't get that. They make Bluster a one-note bad guy who doesn't have any motivation outside of wanting to be evil for the sake of stopping the good guy. But why? He wants to create a theme park or something like that, but that is only brought up a couple times and doesn't explain a lot of what he does. Luckily, some people he talks to have more depth. Most notably, his right-hand man, Robbie. Robbie's Bluster's wingman who means well, but knows only of Bluster at first. The kindness from the bears at first was sickening to her, before she slowly opened up to them, and soon, by season 4, helped sabotage Buster's attempts at taking over the silver lining for them. This character was one of the best parts of watching the series due to how compelling her character was and the transition to helping the Care Bears after being shown love. Then we have the Wiffles. I love the concept of them, and the fact that they are the ones who garden around Care-a-Lot to keep it growing and fresh is incredible. The way they bring up respecting different cultures through the Wiffles is also very cool, and I'm glad that they are putting that onto TV. The only real complaint I have about the Wiffles is the fact that they could have gone with a better fitting cast of characters. Star and Heart Buddies have been a part of the Care Bear lore since Gen 1, and we don't see them canonically in Gen 5 at all. It would have been cool to replace the Wiffles with Star and Heart Buddies, giving them more of a story than just living near the Care Bears. Although, even with this, I understand why they made a new species for this, as having a Star and Heart Buddies be in charge of taking care of the forest is really weird, as they naturally live in Care-a-Lot. The point of Robbie being shown kindness from earlier brings me to my next point. The series was so much better because bears couldn't use their belly badge powers in the silver lining. They really do have to use pure caring and problem solving to get through situations, when, in other generations, the Care Bear stare would be their go-to move, as if they prioritize violence over genuine caring. Then, of course, the animation is phenomenal. The more kawaii art style makes it appeal to the real target demographic for this a lot better. I know, right away, you may think that they are targeting little children, which is reasonable, but I think they are really targeting the adults that are nostalgic for the Care Bears from the 90s. Just like with the nostalgic video games from that time, like the Nintendo 64, people who grew up in the 90s are starting to long for things from their childhood, which, in our case, is the Care Bears. But yeah, animation's good. That was my original point. With that said, I do have some qualms with the show. The first being that they missed a huge shot to put the Care Bear cousins in. If they didn't want them to be in the whole show, I would have had the bears find them in the forest later in the series one by one. Having them live in the silver lining would be a great way to add familiar characters while also giving more light to the cousins, who have been wasting away since the 90s. The cousins are legitimately better than most of the bears, and people just ignore them. It's just so rude. Now we have my biggest complaint from the series as a whole. It was a missed opportunity. This show aired on Cartoon Network of all places, and had really solid mysterious setup. I thought this generation of Care Bears was going in the direction of Adventure Time, Steven Universe, or a regular show, which aired on the network, or even like The Owl House, Gravity Falls, or Star vs. the Forces of Evil, which aired on Disney XD. But no. After we got introduced to what the Silver Lining was actually like, it turned more into a baby show than most other generations. I thought we were finally getting a dramatic, adventurous, mysterious plot for us older fans, but then it made a U-turn right back into Nick Jr. We had the setup for something more mature, but it never really went there. But overall, the show is marvelous for what it is, and provides more than the last generation. It has the most depth that keeps things interesting with an overarching story, even if it still is mainly an episodic series. The voice acting is so emotional and energized, you can really tell the people who made this are proud of what they made. And they really should be. So, that is all for today. Hit that like button to see more Care Bears content. Comment your thoughts on the new series below. I would love to hear them. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to hear about all my obsessions in the future. My social media links are down in the description below. And, like always, do your best. Also, why did they introduce Togetherness Bear as a plush if they didn't put her in the series? I'm very confused. I want to see her help.